Hi guys, my name is Anton.
My name is Erica.
And today we are going to be showing you how to manually record blood pressure.
This video is intended for a service learning project here at Oakton, and we do not own any rights to any images or videos used for this project. And
so for the blood pressure reading, we're going to be needing three things. One of them is the stethoscope, one of them is the sphygmomanometer, and the last one is a patient, which is me.
And blood pressure would be the force of blood pushing against the walls of the arteries. It is measured in millimeters of mercury, and it is reported in two numbers, which is the systolic being the top number and diastolic being the bottom number.
The systolic pressure, as Erica was saying, as the top number, is the maximum pressure in your arteries when your heart contracts and pumps blood throughout the body.
And the diastolic number, which is the bottom number, is when your arteries in the heart relax.
A normal systolic blood pressure reading is below 120 millimeters of mercury, and a normal diastolic blood pressure reading is below 80 millimeters of mercury. A systolic reading of 120 to 129 is considered elevated, and a reading over 130 is actually considered hypertension. A diastolic reading over 80 is also considered hypertension as well, and right here in this table you can see all the ranges for the abnormal and normal values of blood pressure.
So we have chronic hypertension and hypotension. For hypertension, it causes increased strain on the blood vessels, which can lead to health problems later in life, such as cardiovascular diseases, heart attacks, stroke, kidney failure, and even eye problems. Hypotension, depending on the severity of it, can make you feel lightheaded, dizzy, or it can also cause you to faint.
So many acute factors actually affect blood pressure. So some examples include if you've recently just eaten a meal, if you are stressed out or anxious, and also if you have just completed exercising. All right, for the setup, your patient is going to be sitting down, as I am. You also want to ensure that their left arm is resting right around heart level on the table. And the reason we're using the left arm is because the left arm is closer to the heart than the right arm is. So that's just going to ensure for a more accurate blood pressure reading.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply hand sanitizer before having direct contact with the patient. And the first thing I'm gonna do is feel for the brachial artery, which is medial to the body. So meaning it'll be more on the inside, not on the outside. Okay, so here is the brachial artery. Make sure that you feel with your index finger and your middle finger, not your thumb, because your thumb also has a pulse, and that could give you a false reading, or not a false reading, but it could make you not actually get the pulse of the brachial artery. All right, here is the pulse. Okay, and then the second thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your stethoscope is working properly. So when you put on your earpieces, you make sure that they are facing outward so that they can align with your ear canals. So, which is this. All right, and then you gently tap the diaphragm to ensure that it is properly working. I'm going to take these off for a few seconds while I put on the blood pressure cuff. For the blood pressure cuff, it has a artery sign right here. This is going to have to be aligned with the brachial artery to ensure getting a accurate reading. So before you apply, you make sure that the sleeve is away from the area where you place the blood pressure cuff. You don't want to place it over clothing.
Yeah, direct contact with the skin, as well as ensuring that this is a properly sized cuff, which it is.
Correct, because there are different blood pressure sizes for kids and for adults and bigger adults. Not ensuring to and not placing the appropriate size can also give a bad reading of the blood pressure. All right. So I make sure that the patient is not crossing his legs. I verify his name and birthday, and I make sure that he is not talking, because talking will also give an inaccurate reading. All right, so we place the diaphragm right on the brachial artery with your fingers around this piece of the stethoscope, not on top. All right, so I grab my knob and I start pumping. We want to pump only 30 millimeters of mercury above, I want to say 130. So we're gonna go up to 160, 180-ish. Great. So what I heard was 120, which is a systolic reading, over 70, which is a diastolic reading, which is a normal blood pressure reading.
And that's how you record blood pressure.